The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel as it is Saturday, and that means we are covering the toy news, action figure news of the week, stuff that interests me that hopefully interests you, and let's just get right into it. There's a lot of toy news this week, and it's been a crazy week, as every week's crazy anymore, I think, for all of us. I've been on the road all week. Hopefully you guys checked out my figure hunt video, see a little bit of what I saw on the road. Of course, I did see my old buddies, Judas Priest, and we might talk about them a little bit later in Album of the Week, so stay tuned for that. But a lot going on, of course, a lot going on the channel. Of course, Patreon members, we just did the October giveaway. November giveaway is here. Greatest Hits Rock WWE Elite. And then, of course, Big E from Series 95. So this will be the November giveaway on the Patreon channel. For those that are interested, check out the Patreon link in the description below. We are dangerously close. We're getting closer every day, I guess. That's the way it goes. To 22,000 subscribers on the channel. Thank you guys for subscribing, all that kind of fun stuff. We are going to do another top 10 when we do hit 22,000 subscribers. And a lot to go on the channel this year, a lot to finish off the year. We got a lot of best of lists, as we always do here on the channel. Going to count down the top 5, top 10s of all the toy lines we do enjoy. So you'll want to subscribe. You don't want to miss those as we count down the best things of 2022 in the action figure department. But let's kick off the news. Let's talk all the news of the week this week. And the first thing we're going to talk about is Masters of the Universe. Of course, we are right in the middle of the Eternia Mattel Creations backer saga, drama, saga. I don't know what we're going to call it here, but they did do a live stream, which I think was really cool. It was basically like an infomercial on YouTube Live. So I think that is a really cool way using technology to move your wares. It's like a QVC for everybody, almost, is what that turns into be. But Eternia, it's pushing right now as of filming. We're at 8,437 backers. Need 10,000 to get Keklar. Hopefully I'm saying his name. I'd hate to offend that old wise wizard. But we're getting close. We're about 1,500 away to get Keklar. Hopefully we get him. We still have, I think it's the 9th is when the closing is on Eternia. So if you haven't backed it yet, I'd get after it. You're running out of time. You're running out of sunlight, as they might say. Of course, they did make some announcements in this live stream, and they did say every backer, if it hits 10,000, will get King Grayskull. So you have to assume, being, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the weekend, a lot of people get paid, of course. You got to think some people will jump in this weekend. It'll be interesting if the Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Stores jump in, some of the other ones, other toy stores out there. Do they jump in and buy this? It is dangerously close to 10,000. I thought for sure we'd hit 10,000, somewhere between 10 and 11,000. I still think it'll be dangerously close. I think it'll be 10,000. We'll see what happens here. We still got a few more days. That being said, the live stream, as I talked about, King Grayskull, they announced if it hits 10,000, everybody gets a King Grayskull. And me putting my business hat on, I am not a big fan of that. I mean, there's a lot of people that are a fan of that, of course, people that maybe missed the window, didn't hear about it, didn't have the finances at the time, whatever it may be. But I'm talking big picture here. The big picture of this crowdfunding thing. You tell us, hey, first week, if you support first week, you're getting this. Well, guess what? First week, there wasn't payment plans for people. This was the true blue He-Man Masters of the Universe fans that backed right away. You basically just stuck your middle finger at them if you are Mattel, saying, you know what, we lied. We know you're the biggest fan base. You're the ones that jumped in right away. We're going to give it to everybody now. And that is not a good precedent, because let's say me, you guys know I backed day one on this thing. Why back it right away? Why not wait till the last minute, see how things jive, see how it goes next time? I mean, that's a difficult road to cross if you're Mattel. You really broke your word, and now nobody is ever going to believe this. And that just even goes over to Hasbro. They say, well, Mattel broke their promise on this. Maybe Hasbro will too. So it's a dangerous precedent set in these crowdfunding Kickstarters, whatever we're going to call them. Just a very, very dangerous road to go down that really could affect these going forward across the board. Like, hey, guess what? If things aren't working out, they're going to give us this anyways. And they'll give it to us anyways. It's dangerous. It really is a dangerous ground. I really wish they wouldn't do that. Hey, I want everybody to have every figure they want, but if you set the rules, you can't break them, and if you do break them, you got to live with the consequences in the future, and that's what Mattel is going to have to do. We'll see when the next Kickstarter is. I mean, if it's 2 years from now, maybe some people will forget. I won't. I got a memory like an elephant. I'll remember. But it's just going to be interesting. I just don't know. It's an interesting business tactic. Obviously, they said, hey, you know what? If we give it to everybody, we might get more backers, which they will. So that's what they're going for. They're going for the sales over their word. That's slippery slope. Slippery slope. So we'll see where Eternia bails out. We'll talk about it next week in the week's toy news. So stay tuned for that. But if you want a King Grayskull, hey, now's your chance. It's open back up again. Speaking of Masters of the Universe in the Origins line, we are getting some more Sunman Rulers of the Sun. Oh, the Rulers of the Sun. We're all getting Hypno. So I guess he's kind of the crystal ball answer from G.I. Joe. He hypnotizes you with his lollipop, it looks like. But we did see some images of him come out this week, so you got to think he's probably in the next set. Speaking of, I should have the latest set here any day now of the Masters of the Universe Origins, so I'm excited to unbox those as we always are on the channel here. So we did see that. They also had some glamour shots this week of Masterverse, the brand new Evil Lyn figure, and I'm glad it's not the jacked up, buffed up Evil Lyn. It's kind of the in-between Evil Lyn. So a really good looking figure. I'm happy for this one. I'm excited to get this one. For the Masters Universe Revelation series, for me, I really enjoyed the series, just taking a step back and trying to put everything out of your mind and watch it. It was enjoyable enough for me. My biggest gripe with the whole thing was when Evil Lyn turned into a jacked up bodybuilder. That's where they lost me a little bit. So I hope they don't make that figure, but I feel like they probably will. We are getting a very good looking Evil Lyn in the future, so stay tuned for that. Also, He-Man this week, Mondo Battle Cat. The pre-order is up on that. I did get in. We talked last week in last week's Toy News. Gosh, I got to remember to order this. Hopefully I don't forget. Well, I did not forget. I did get my pre-order in. We'll see. I'm very excited for this one. I just got to figure out where I'm going to display these guys at. But I'm excited to have kind of the core team. I'll have Skeletor, Hordak, Battle Cat, She-Ra, He-Man, and that's probably as deep as I'm going to go unless I come across some kind of crazy deal. Who knows? We'll see what happens, but a very, very cool one in that Mondo Battle Cat. Just a terrible time for that one with Eternia going on for a lot of collectors, making people pick and choose, really, is what happened. So we got Mondo Battle Cat. Keeping it in kind of, I don't know what I'm looking for, but He-Man to Thundercats. How about the transition? I always kind of think of those guys in kind of the, not the same universe, but side by side. Like in Ebony and Ivory. Paul McCartney is what that is to me. But we did fully see images of Jaga, the Super7, the ghost of Jaga, the spirit of Jaga, whatever you want to call him. A time-honored tradition over the last year of glow-in-the-dark and special figures being exclusives. Well, this is a Super 7 store exclusive, so if you want a repainted Jaga in his spirit form, you got to go to Super 7, so that'll be up for about 30 days like they always are. But that is a must-have for me. I always think of Jaga that way, so I'm definitely picking this one up. But the Thundercat line keeps extending out. It'll be interesting to see what we get from 2023 from the Thundercats line. So I'm excited about that. And while we're on Super 7, what is going on? This week I got so many delay emails from Super 7. Something's going on over there. The factories or shipping or something. Obviously, they don't tell you in the emails, but what was it? Like 2 sets of Power Rangers, 2 sets of Simpsons, 2 sets of G.I. Joe, the Party Wagon, all that stuff was delayed. I don't know what's going on. So there's not going to be a whole lot of new Super 7s to close out the year. I'm still hoping G.I. Joe Series 1 comes out. It's supposed to be November. I don't think I got a delay on that one, so hopefully November time frame. December at the latest, we get G.I. Joe Series 1. But a lot of the other stuff that I thought would be here around that time sounds like it's going to be next year. I think the Party Wagons moved all the way to September 2023, which just seems absolutely wild. But that's just the way with Super 7. You know, they sit on your money for a year. Sometimes it's a year and a half, and that's what we got in some of these instances here. That's why I always say, Entertainment Earth, use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% when those things go in stock. I've just stopped pre-ordering a lot of that stuff for that very reason. I can save 10% and I don't have to have them holding my money for a year and a half. So, got to get a deal out there at the end of the day. You guys know how that goes. But that is interesting. So if you had some pre-orders, you might want to check and see if you've been delayed on some of your stuff. So always interesting with Super 7. Speaking of more action figure news this week, how about wrestling? Let's dive into some wrestling. And this is really the week of the third-party companies, or whatever you want to call them. The outside of the Jazzwares, outside of the Mattel, all the ancillary ones. They all came in hot this week. And Cella Toys, or I guess we should start calling them Wrestling Trader now. They did come out with some glamour shot images of the Rhythm and Blues Greg the Hammer Valentine. Now, we do know Mattel has one of these coming out on Mattel Creations, probably first of the year, I would have to imagine. The Greg Valentine of the Wrestling Trader, they showed the packaging for it. man, it really does give you that Hasbro vibe, which it should. It's a retro. It's in that same scale, that same kind of universe, but very, very cool packaging on that Greg Valentine. It'd be interesting how well this one sells. Obviously, it's a lot more expensive than the Mattel one is going to be. We'll see where that all goes. But then we also saw from Wrestling Trader, which we saw these long ago, but we got some more glamour shots of Eddie Guerrero. So I got to think on the heels of Greg Valentine, we're going to see Greg, but we'll also see Eddie Guerrero coming shortly after that. So I know a lot of people are excited to get a retro Eddie Guerrero figure. Always interesting with these licenses, where they jump in, where they dive in. We're getting Elites, of course, of Eddie Guerrero, and now we're getting a retro over there. So is the contract for Elites only, not retro style figures? Who knows what's in these contracts, but we are getting Eddie Guerrero from Wrestling Trader. We also saw Rush Collectibles. Rush Collectibles is an interesting one. They've shown us like 50 different images with no actual product in our hands, but they did kind of dangle the carrot that it looks like the Patriot is coming, so we're going to get the Patriot in retro form. But as of right now, they are basically just an artwork company. They're showing us artwork. Where's the figures? Where's the pre-orders? Where's all that kind of stuff? Hopefully we get some of that stuff in the near future, and that goes for Wrestling Trader, I guess Cella beforehand. Zombie Sailor to a certain degree, he's got us some product and should have some more coming first of the year. But we just see a lot of artwork without a lot of action figures, so it's a really weird dynamic with these retros, and I think that's part of why the retro boom has really dropped off the cliff, because we get so much stuff thrown at us every day. Oh, a retro Eddie Guerrero, a retro Greg Valentine, whoever it is, and then it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe never in our hands, and it just makes us all kind of shrug our shoulders, say, oh, that's some cool artwork, and you just forget all about it. That's at least what I'm kind of doing. I'm trying to stay on top of it as much as I can, but it's really hard, as Fast and Furious as those are coming to the internet, I guess. I don't know what you'd call it there, but it's a really weird dynamic. And then speaking of retro style figures, Hastel Toys, they showed the prototype for Smoke Train Charles Wright. Oh, the old Smoke Train. We saw him, the Godfather prototype. So if you're interested in that, you're going to be able to watch his social medias on Instagram and stuff. I actually picked up a toy from Hastel Toys. It'll be in next week's weekly purchases, so stay tuned for that one there. But then keeping on with more figures, Power Town, we haven't talked about them in a couple of weeks. Series 1 pre-order officially closed. They're supposed to be in our hand very early 2023. I hope they can stick to that commitment. I hope there's not all of a sudden in December, well guys, bad news. Series 1's coming in May or June. I hope it sticks to that January, February timeframe. We'll see what ends up happening there, but I got to think Series 2, we're probably going to get some announcements, things like that, and then probably a pre-order probably by the end of the year, maybe first of the year for Series 2 of Power Town. Very much looking forward to those figures. Very much looking forward to see who is going to be in Series 2. So Power Town train rolls on. The Asylum Toy Company, they're making WWE Superstar figures, I guess is what it's kind of Masters Universe style figures, the Asylum. Facebook group, check them out, of course, as well. We talked about the Road Warriors. We're getting the Road Warriors. Day one buyer here for me. You guys know I love the Road Warriors. Heck, I got a Road Warriors shirt on today. I didn't even realize that. Didn't even plan that one, but Road Warriors coming from the Asylum store. I'm very excited about that. They also announced their next one. We're getting Scott Norton. Scott Norton, a big jacked up dude. A big fan of Scott Norton. I always love Scott Norton. Big dude, and it says, of course, Vicious on the back, so that really tells you what's the other one going to be announced. It's going to be Delicious. It's going to be Buff Bagwell. So we should be getting Vicious and Delicious and the Road Warriors in Series 1. I think the Road Warriors will outsell the other two. I think that's a no-brainer there. But I'm all in on all four. Hopefully they have a bundle package where you can get them all, save a little bit of money. Got to get a deal out there. But we did see that. FTC coming in hot. We don't talk a ton of FTC, but FTC came with a referee figure. Now, you think FTC, you think referee figure, you think the Jax Deluxe Aggression, Jax Ruthless Aggression hybrid figures they're doing, that it always kind of comes up just missing a little bit something somewhere. Well, this is different. This body style really does look like Jazzwares, and it does say, hey, it can be mixed with your Elites. It can be mixed with your Jazzwares figures. And it looks like it. It almost looks like an Aubrey Edwards type body. So you guys looking for a referee, this may be the way to go. I did pre-order this one. It's supposed to come to me next week. I'm traveling all next week, so it'll probably be next weekend before we get to it on the channel. But I'm very interested to see this FTC referee. Did they possibly ditch those old molds? Has FTC said, hey, we're going to start using this as our new molds? That would be a game changer. Can you imagine if FTC came to market with Jazzwares style figures? Wouldn't that be something? I don't know. It'll be something we got to really pay attention to, but I'm pretty excited for this referee figure. Fingers crossed it lives up to expectations, but on the pictures, it looks pretty good. So we'll be the jury. Stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. We'll unbox it on the channel. We'll find out what's going on with that. How about a little Mattel? The only real Mattel wrestling news this week that we had was, we kind of expected this. I think I even talked about this maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, that I didn't think this was going to come to market. Well, it was officially canceled this week. The Jeff Jarrett Ultimate Edition figure. No surprise there with him debuting in AEW this week. Probably not going to have a Mattel figure. I know a lot of people are saying, well, Billy Gunn and Jake Roberts got figures. A little different, Legends contracts, thing like that. Jeff Jarrett was an employee at WWE, then totally out of the game. Now he's all over AEW. I don't know, just everybody's contract is different, and obviously Jeff Jarrett's did not allow him to have a Mattel figure with the AEW, or Mattel said, you know what, we don't want him, or WWE more likely said we don't want him, because I'm pretty sure the Mattel guys would still put it out if they possibly could. There's no doubt in my mind there, but it's just not in the cards right now. We'll see. They at least have the renders, the prototypes ready to go, so if something changes a year from now, they can maybe rush that to market a little faster than some of the other Ultimates. But no Jeff Jarrett there. We're going to have to look to Jazzwares to get us a Jeff Jarrett figure, which no doubt in my mind we'll see that in 2023. So stay tuned for that as well. A few other things this week. Golden Axe, Big Bad Toy Store, of course, link in the description below. Big Bad Toy Store, the only home of Storm collectible figures in the United States, as we know now, and they do have some more Golden Axe figures coming out. Really getting deep in that Golden Axe line. Golden Axe line, a line I really do enjoy, but they got 2 different dragons coming out. Now, these are basically repainted dragons from earlier releases. Got to get the most out of your molds, as we know. To me, I'm probably passing on these. A decent price, $89. They are very big. They are articulated. They are very cool. I already got 2 in my collection. I don't know if I need 2 more. Kind of like the skeleton thing. They got so many skeleton packs. How many skeletons do I need? How many can you afford is more like it. I need them all. Can't afford them all is the way there. But Golden Axe Dragons, if you're into that, check out Big Bad Toy Store. They're up right now. And then last Saturday, basically a week from today, or a week past from today, London Comic-Con. Oh, London, how are you doing this time of year? I heard a little foggy, a little bit cold. Is that true? Somebody can fact check that. But London Comic-Con, they came in hot with some G.I. Joe reveals. They did save this for London Comic-Con. It makes a heck of a lot of sense. It is Big Ben. Now, a lot of people maybe don't know Big Ben from back in the 3 3/4 days. I did. I think he came out like 91, 92. A lot of people were checked out of G.I. Joe by then, but I was still deep in the Joes. I love that Big Ben figure. And at first, I thought it was Tunnel Rat, and I think they're going to see some reuse from Tunnel Rat eventually with this Big Ben. But London Comic-Con, perfect spot to unveil Big Ben, I felt. So we are got Big Ben coming in 2023. Stay tuned for that one. Very excited for that. They also announced a Cobra Female Trooper 2-pack, very similar to the Cobra 3-pack or the Ninja 2-pack from Amazon. We're getting a Cobra Female Trooper 2-pack, so you can build your army once again. A lot of army builders out there, and I think that's going to be the wave. I think we're going to see that a lot with a lot of these army ones. You'll get a solo release, and then all of a sudden you get 2-packs and 3-packs to really build out your ranks, because guess what? They see money in army building in the Joes, just like Star Wars. We'll get some more of that, so we do have that coming. And then a deep cut, but a very popular cut for G.I. Joe diehards is going back to the Pursuit of Cobra line. When was that line out? Maybe 2005, 2006. I dabbled in that line a little bit. Obviously, I was right in college, out of college. Didn't have a ton of money for that, if I remember correctly. But I did dabble in a few of those. And one of the coolest figures from that Pursuit of Cobra line was the Shadow Tracker. They are bringing him to the G.I. Joe classified line. I think that will be really cool. But I know there's going to be a lot of G.I. Joe fans a little turned off by that, because they're going to say, okay, we're getting Shadow Tracker, but where's Mutt and Junkyard? Where is some of these older characters, the ones that everybody loved back in the day? Where are those? And why are they going into these deep territories? And there is some rumors going around that G.I. Joe is going to go into some of the space figures and alien figures of the late 90s that a lot of people were tuned out for, including myself, trying to build that whole universe. I get what they're doing. It just seems a little bit dangerous, and it seems like you might make some people check out of the line if you get too crazy off into some of those neon color ones and stuff. It's just an interesting way, but the classified line rolls on. It's going to be a very, very interesting 2023 in the G.I. Joe classified line. Continuing on from London Comic Con, we saw some Marvel releases that were announced there. Extremis Iron Man. I am not familiar with that version of Iron Man at all, but they're going to the Iron Man well as many times as they can. Iron Man overload is a real thing, if you ask me. I feel like we just get too many Iron Man, but guess what? At the end of the day, Iron Man sells. As much as we love the deep cut characters, it is a business after the day, as we always say. So they're going to keep throwing those Iron Mans out there, much like they throw out the Captain Americas. And we did see an Ultimate Captain America. So theoretically, this being the Ultimate Captain America, we should really never need another Captain America figure because it is the ultimate one. Something tells me we'll get more Captain Americas in the future, but we're getting an Ultimate Captain America. They also announced this one that did go up for pre-order. I think Hasbro Pulse, Amazon shared exclusive once again. The Killmonger What If collection. So it's Killmonger from the What If series and Amazon exclusive. If you need that, head over to those two places. You can pick that one up. They also announced some ones for Marvel Legends for the X-Men. I don't think they said exactly where these are going, but a lot of rumors are they're going to go in a box set, an X-Men box set, which I wouldn't be opposed to. But if you guys saw, a couple months ago on the channel, I said my most wanted Marvel Legend figures. That was what top 10. I think I even did I think it was the top 20 for 20,000 subscribers. I give my most wanted Marvel Legend figures, and right at the top of the list was Random, and we are getting Random in the Marvel Legends line. Always a cool looking character, looks really cool here. Can't wait to get Random. We're also getting Zero. I am not familiar with this character, but I do see a lot of reuse from that Doctor Strange Target exclusive from 6 months ago, 8 months ago, whatever it was. They had to get the most out of the mold on that, and that's a very easy figure to slap together. So we are getting Zero. We also saw Vertigo. Vertigo, one of the stars of the X-Men animated series as far as bad guys go. She had her day in the sun in that show a lot. That's where I remember her for. But I'm always cool to get some of these characters like that. So that does look really good. Very excited to see some more Marvel Legend X-Men figures coming. I'm all about the X-Men figures, as you guys fully aware. We go back to Super7 now for Wave 9 of the Ninja Turtles. The Ninja Turtle Wave 9 for Super7. So they announced a ton of delays, and then Wave 9 is up for pre-order. But that's the way it goes with Super7. It's a track record. We've followed it for a lot of years. But we're getting Duncan Dawn. Oh, Duncan Dawn. We're getting him. We're getting an interesting one, Fuzzy Splinter. So it's basically a flocked version of Splinter. We've been seeing this a little bit in this Turtle line and some of the other Super 7 lines, getting the most out of some of these molds, trying to keep the cost down, trying to play chess a little bit with the budgets, I think is what we're doing here. But we got the Fuzzy Splinter with the flocked hair. So if you have the old one, maybe you don't need this one. Maybe you need both. Choose your own adventure with your Splinter, but we're getting a Fuzzy Splinter. We're getting one of my least favorites, Neutrino Zack. Oh, I just don't like those Neutrinos, as you know, but probably have to pick him up, and I'm sure we'll get the rest of the Neutrinos eventually from Super 7. And then the big one, which I gotta expect to be a deluxe price point, it's going to be the Wingnut and Screw Loose. Now, we saw them from NECA a year ago, probably about this time last year. Now we're getting them in the Super 7 Ultimates. So a lot of people that love the Wingnut and Screw Loose, you're going to be able to get them there. So that's Wave 9 of the Turtles. Can you believe it? All the way up to Wave 9. I still have all the waves here, and I have not unboxed any of them. One of these days, I got to get around to unboxing these guys. We'll see what happens with that one. But looking it over, that's really the news of the week. A very busy news week. If you're looking for that King Grayskull, you better get after it before it's too late. If you want that Eternia, you got just a few more days. But it'll be interesting to see what that ends up clocking in at. And of course, we'll cover that next week on the channel, of course, on Saturday's Toy News. Last bit of news this week is, of course, you guys saw my figure hunt video. I put some clips in there. I was front row for Judas Priest. Oh, Priest in the East. Well, Sioux City, Iowa is east of somewhere, so you can't say Priest in the East. But it was like my, 10th Judas Priest show, something like that. I absolutely love Judas Priest. Rob Halford, a favorite vocalist of mine. A very, very good show. Was it the greatest Priest show I've ever seen? No, it was not, but still, any Priest is better than no Priest. The band was on fire. It was a good show. And of course, today, if you're watching this on Saturday, they're going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They should have been in there like 20 years ago, but what do I know? But Priest sounded really good, and the thing I was really excited for is I've heard most of the Priest songs that you could think would be played in concert, but they played a deep cut on this tour, and probably for like the 5th time in 40 years, because I think they're about 5 shows deep into this tour. They play Genocide off of Sad Wings of Destiny. If you longtime Priest fans know, probably Sad Wings of Destiny. They played Genocide. I was all jazzed up for that one. I even messaged old buddy of the channel, Richie Faulkner, on guitar. He watches the channel. He's a big Star Wars guy, and he's reached out a few times. I messaged him on Instagram. I said, Richie, you got to keep Genocide in the set for me. I've never seen it played live. I have to see this. And thankfully, they did play it this night off of Sad Wings of Destiny, and that is the album of the week. If you've never heard Sad Wings, that's some early Priest magic, but you can't go wrong with a lot of Priest. I mean, Sin After Sin, Hellbent for Leather, Stained Class. I mean, you could go on and on, but the 70s stuff is really what I'm digging right now. But I always go through phases of early 70s, the hardcore stuff of the 70s, up to Unleashed in the East, and then into the 80s stuff. And I enjoy even the Ripper Owens years. Tim Ripper Owens is a favorite of mine. I loved his stuff with Iced Earth. So the Priest legacy is a strong legacy, one of the best, one of the pillars of heavy metal, right up there with Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and I guess we have to put Metallica in there. It's been enough time. I think that's your Mount Rushmore of heavy metal. Obviously, there's some bands I like more than them, but we got to call it out like I see it. Motorhead, but those are probably the big 4 of heavy metal. I think they would be in the running if anybody's argument there. But Priest, killing it this week. Check out the Priest, and I think HBO is playing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame about a week from now, so I'll be checking out that performance. A lot of good surprises I hear. I'm hearing Les Binks might be back on drums. I'm hearing KK Downing maybe back on guitar. It could be quite the thing, and you know how those things go. We might see a 50th anniversary all Priest family tour. Ooh boy, sign me up for that one all day long. So there it is. There it is. Yeah, there it is. That's the album of the week, Sad Wings of Destiny, and that's the toy news of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts this week in the comments down below. Anything you're picking up. How are you sitting on King Grayskull? I'd be interested to hear your guys' opinion. I understand why they did it. I think it's a bad, horrible precedent that Mattel set doing this. I can see why people would be excited, but I think in the future that's going to do more damage than good. That's where I'm sitting on that one, but you guys let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. You made it this far. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. Make sure you stay around for weekly purchases tomorrow, as I got a huge week of weekly purchases, a massive week this week. I didn't think it was going to be this big, but here we are once again. So make sure you check out that video tomorrow. Don't forget about the Patreon. We talked about the giveaways. We got Q&As. We got all kinds of stuff over there on the Patreon, all kinds of exclusive stuff, plus a lot of videos earlier, like the weekend videos, getting those on Friday night. So check out the Patreon, support the channel. You can also support the channel over at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget about social media. SirPaul64 is where you'll find me on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for the news of the week, I'm Kyle. I'll see you guys all real soon.